Marina Laro had spent her entire life dreaming of swimming with giants. She had trained for years, working with the ocean's most majestic predators, forging bonds with creatures few could ever imagine. But on one warm June afternoon at Ocean World Orlando, the dream she fought for would turn into a nightmare beyond anything she could have prepared for. This is the terrifying story of what happened that day, a story of a bond shattered and a life lost in the unforgiving depths. Stay with us, because what you're about to witness is unlike anything you've ever seen. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. And let's dive into the heart of this terrifying event. Marina Laro was more than just a trainer. She was a woman who lived for the ocean, for the creatures that roamed its depths. At 33, she was already one of the most respected trainers in the world. Her passion for orcas ran deeper than just her career. It was a lifelong obsession, a dream that had driven her every step of the way. For 10 years, Marina had worked with the ocean's most formidable predators, but there was one orca she was especially connected to, a 19 FT 8000.lb powerhouse named Nyla. Nyla was no ordinary orca. She was a majestic creature captured from the wild in Iceland, and for years she had been the star of Ocean World Orlando's famous shows. But it was Marina who had formed an unspoken bond with Nyla, a bond that was deeper than any of the other trainers could ever imagine. One of Marina's colleagues once said, "Marina and Nyla, they had something special. You could see it when they were together, this unbreakable trust. Marina could do things with Nyla that no one else could. They were like one in the water. It was magical." On the surface, it seemed like everything was perfect. The audience would cheer as Marina and Nyla performed breathtaking stunts, lifting and spinning in graceful choreography. Marina was known for her fearless attitude, her unshakable connection with the animals she worked with. She loved Nyla as though she were family, spending countless hours with her, not just training, but truly understanding her. Another colleague said, "She was fearless. She had this energy, this heart. She wasn't afraid of the orcas like most. People were. She was always so calm, like she could control them with just a look." But behind those beautiful performances, there were moments that raised concerns, small signs that people ignored, dismissed as part of the animal's unpredictable nature. Nyla, despite her strength, had a history of minor aggressive behavior, incidents that were brushed under the rug. She'd snap at the water sometimes, give a warning tail slap, a gesture no one seemed to think much of. In the world of captive orcas, it wasn't unusual for aggression to show up. They were, after all, wild animals. But in Marina's eyes, Nyla was more than just a performer. She was a partner. But no one knew the storm that was brewing beneath the surface of that partnership. Nyla was a creature of the sea, born in the cold, dark waters of Iceland, captured in 1992 and brought into captivity at Ocean World Orlando. She was an orca of incredible power, 19 feet long and weighing 8,000 kg, a true force of nature. Her strength was unmatched, and yet there was something about her, something beneath that graceful surface that no one could quite understand. At first glance, Nyla seemed like any other orca. She was beautiful, her movements fluid and mesmerizing. She performed her tricks with precision, leaving the crowds in awe. But those who spent the most time with her knew there was more lurking beneath the calm exterior. Her history, though, was one that was rarely discussed. Few knew the truth about Nyla's behavior, a history of aggressive incidents that were swept under the rug. Minor things at first, ignoring hand signals during performances, a jaw-popping display that signaled frustration or irritation, small lunges that were chalked up to the unpredictability of wild animals. A former trainer said, "There were signs, small things, but no one wanted to acknowledge them. It was always brushed off. A tail slap here, a moment of aggression there. Everyone just assumed it was normal. She's an orca, after all." But something wasn't right. Those who paid closer attention knew better. Beneath Nyla's stunning exterior, there was an anger that no one wanted to see, a simmering force that had been ignored for far too long. Marina knew the signs. She understood Nyla better than anyone, but even she couldn't see what was coming, what they all failed to see. And it wasn't just Nyla. It was the entire system. The constant pressure to perform, the strain of captivity, it wears down even the most majestic of creatures. Beneath the water's surface, things were changing. Things were shifting. The signs were there, and yet no one did anything to stop it. Nyla's aggression, her disobedience, all of it had been overlooked for years, and now there would be a price to pay. It was a warm, humid summer afternoon at Ocean World Orlando, the kind of day when the sun beats down relentlessly, the air thick with the sounds of laughter and the scent of salt water fills the breeze. Guests were arriving in droves, eager to witness the excitement, the wonder of the world's most incredible animals. Among them, there was one show that everyone looked forward to the most, the Dances with Giants performance. It was a fan favorite, and today would be no different, or so they thought. At 2:30 p.m., the gates opened and the crowds poured in, chattering with excitement as they took their seats. The arena was filled to capacity. The water in the pool shimmered under the blazing sun, reflecting the brilliant blue sky. Marina Laro, as always, was calm and collected, preparing backstage for the show that had become her signature performance with Nyla. The trick for today was special, one that Marina and Nyla had rehearsed countless times. Nyla would lift Marina from the water on her rostrum, a move that always wowed the audience, showcasing the power of the orca in a beautiful coordinated dance. The timing had to be perfect, the precision flawless. Marina trusted Nyla completely, as she always had. She had spent years training with her, bonding with her, understanding every shift in her movements. But today, something was different. As the show began, the tension in the air was obvious. Marina took her position, waiting for Nyla's cue. The orca was slow to respond. Nyla lingered in the water, her massive body gliding with an unusual hesitation. Marina gave the familiar hand signal, the one that always prompted Nyla to swim toward her. But Nyla didn't move as quickly as usual. Marina, trying to maintain the calm that had always defined her, whispered to herself, "She's just being stubborn today. It's nothing. She'll snap out of it." But it wasn't nothing. At 2:47 p.m., the moment of truth arrived. Marina stood at the edge of the pool, ready to execute the trick. The crowd's attention was fixed on her and Nyla. As Marina extended her arm, signaling Nyla to come closer, something shifted. The orca deviated from the routine. It was subtle at first, just a slight hesitation in her movement. But Marina felt it. She knew her. She could feel that something wasn't right. Then it happened. Nyla, usually so graceful and precise, performed an unexpected move. A playful dunk, just a gentle push, a harmless gesture. But it was a sign. The first sign that something was off. Marina, ever the professional, played it off. She smiled, splashing water to engage the audience, trying to regain the rhythm of the performance. But Nyla wasn't done. The second time, it was different. More aggressive. A powerful sudden grab that caught Marina off guard. Nyla's massive jaws clamped down on Marina's arm with a force that sent shockwaves through the water. For a split second, Marina froze. She couldn't believe it. Was this a mistake? A fluke? Could it be that Nyla had lost control? The crowd didn't know what was happening. To them, it was still part of the show. But Marina could feel the difference. She fought to break free, pulling with all her strength, but Nyla wasn't releasing. Her grip. The water around them churned violently, the sounds of thrashing and splashing drowning out everything else. In those final moments, it was as if time slowed down. Marina's mind raced as she tried to make sense of the chaos around her. What had happened to the bond she thought was unbreakable? What had gone wrong?